all lie, but I can't. I be laughing all the way to the bank.
What it do? It's your boy CP. You already know how we do on Shots with Shooter. I'm going on a little rant today, man, about what's going on in the world. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but it looks like we're at war, maybe the brink of World War III. And what I wonder is how in the fuck is the United States tangled up in this shit? Like, it's fucking phenomenal to me that we're at war with all these countries and ain't none of this shit got anything to do with us. February 28th, your boy, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, woke up dead. Yes, sir. 86 years old and he 86 his ass. Why? Because Israel said that they had some strikes planned against Iran and it was going to affect the American people. So they pretty much forced our hand. So we decided to take liberty and do a preemptive strike before Israel could do a strike on them. And now look at where we're at. And then less than 24 hours later, they name a new supreme leader, interim supreme leader. What is it, Afari? And within hours of him being the supreme leader, he woke up dead too as well. So shit is going on in the motherfucking world. Welcome to 2026, starting off pretty fucking crazy. So one would wonder, why do we keep striking everybody? I thought Trump said that he was gonna pull all the troops and get them out of these wars that have nothing to do with the United States and put America first. America doesn't look like it's being put first right now. It looks like they keep saying United States of Israel. The UK said they want parts of it too, and they're gonna back their ally Israel. Why is Israel at war with everybody? Why do they want everyone to die? I'm trying to figure out, are we the good guys or the bad guys? Because we seem to be helping the bad guys. All we see is mass genocide coming from Israel. And this isn't anti-Semitic talk or anything like that. This is just seeing what we have going on. Look what happened to the people in Gaza. They killed over 70,000 people in Gaza. Hamas only killed like 1,000 something people. You're comparing a handful to a world full. 70,000 people. Who funded that war? What are we doing? And what did we say we were going to do? We want to help the people in Venezuela. You know, they're in such a bad place. They're in this third world country. We want to liberate them. We want to liberate the people in Iran now, right? I mean, they have a right to overthrow their own government, and find a new regime. Why do we have to step in on what's going on in their world and their life? The supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he's been their leader for 36 years. They could have overthrown him at any time. Why is this America's business? And now American lives have to die because Israel want to go to war? We have to risk American lives of people, and then we fund Israel with $3 billion a year. And I think an extra 500 million or something for their military, right? Military missiles that we supply to them. Why do we fund them $3 billion a year when there's homeless people in America? We got a homeless crisis in America, and especially in places like California, where they're just taking over downtowns and taking over cities or whatever and building many houses right there on the street. We got $3 billion to get to Israel, but we ain't got money to take care of the American people. We can't afford to give our own people free health care, but we can give Israel $3 billion. It's crazy work. And I ain't got no skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just minding my black business, but I like to make sure that my black folks is up on what's going on and what's not. And it seems like to me, what I'm seeing right now is that Iran is kind of putting belt to ass to Israel right now. Israel got this thing called the Iron Dome, and I think it makes them really arrogant. And it looks like the Iron Dome is not doing what they thought it would do. So it has a 90% success rate to shoot down missiles, right? But Iran figured out some shit. It looks like they got these supersonic missiles. And not only are they supersonic, but they detach and become, like one missile turns into like 8 missiles, which is something that they weren't anticipating. And they've penetrated the fuck out of that shield. And they've been hitting Israel left and right. The Israel people I seen on Instagram, they were begging Iran to stop saying that they're sorry. And they don't want to have to move. They love Israel. They don't want to live anywhere else in the world. They don't want to have to leave. Iran ain't no punk. There's 2 things I know for certain. Iran ain't no bitch, and the United States want to smoke. Now, I don't know why we want to smoke and want to go to war with people and we want to fight wars. I don't even know when the last time we won a war. I just know we always got ulterior motives. You know, Afghanistan, Iraq and all that. All we do was guard poppy fields and steal oil. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it G. We lost thousands and thousands of American people to guard a poppy field, and now we have pandemic crisis going on in America. What are we to do? We keep jumping in everybody's war. Since Donald Trump's been the president, he's bombed 7 different countries from, what was it, Syria, now Iran. He bombed Iraq. He bombed, what was all the countries that this man had bombed? So we've bombed Iran, Yemen, Somalia, Syria, Iraq, Nigeria, and Venezuela. We done kidnapped the whole president out of Venezuela because we want to liberate them. And then what do? The first thing Donald Trump did was take over their oil situation and said that he's gonna buy or sell thousands of barrels of oil to America at this market rate, at this fair market price, and we're gonna liberate the people in Venezuela. Now and why do we really do that? Venezuela had a deal with China for oil. We wanted to block that. We want to block whatever we can do because secretly China is pretty much the enemy of America, and China and Russia have been in bed with each other, and they're in bed with Iran. And now let's bring it back full circle. Like I said, Israel, they thought they were invincible with their Iron Dome. It cost them $1 billion a day, $1 billion a night to protect Israel with the Iron Dome. And it's looking real shitty right now because, like I said, they getting BTA. And who's gonna pay? Who's gonna give all that money? We donate all that money to Israel to fund their wars and fund what they're doing. Who's gonna pay $1 billion a day? We're gonna do it. Your taxpayer dollars is going to what funds Israel wars. We're supposed to be the guys in the higher ground. How are we trying to liberate people? How are we trying to save the people of the country? But we didn't do anything to step in and save Gaza. We let all those people die before we finally got some kind of ceasefire. We just letting them take over land. The president said maybe they should just leave and go vacate to Egypt or somewhere else, and we could turn that nice beachfront property.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. We'll own it. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
Into something, resort this and let it make money. They should just go. It's not even moral what's going on. We're supposed to be, but like I said, I should be minding my black business because things that don't pertain to me. And I'm so tired of fucking Michael Rappaport talking and bigging up fucking the Jew, the Israel and all that, what they got going on. How do you look at the death toll that they've accrued and you support what Israel's doing and big them up like they're the good guys with the moral character? Okay, someone threw a rock at you and hit you, so you gonna go kill the whole family? Somebody threw a rock and hit you, you went and killed the whole family and their extended family and every person that they knew? Like, come on, man. Yes, Hamas deserves, some of what that happened, but what about the engagement of war, right? What about the places that are supposed to be safe? Hospitals, historical monuments, they destroyed mosques, hospitals with injured and people that have nothing to do with Hamas in it, schools and everything. They killed a bunch of children, and we sit there and act like it's okay. And people like shitheads like Michael Rappaport want to sit there and big up Israel like there's some moral character. What I'm trying to understand is, why does Israel have their fucking hands so far up America's ass like a puppet? How did we get so deeply in bed with Israel? I understand they run the banking systems and Hollywoods and all kinds of stuff, but how the fuck did we get so deeply in bed with Israel? We try to control shit in the world with our missile systems. We want everyone to buy our missile systems, buy our missiles and everything so we can control them. What Iran did was say, no, we'll design our own missile systems and our own missiles and our own military systems. That way America has no say-so and can't see and can tell what the fuck we're doing. And that's why we can't stop Iran's missiles, and that's what's making Iran so fucking dangerous. They way up there in the fucking mountains. We can't really march. We can't march and get in there. We can drop missiles on them all day, but they don't give a fuck. You can kill a million of their leaders. They the next man up, just like the cartel. Meanwhile, America's got their business in. What's going on with El Mencho in Mexico and the drug crisis over there? They got their hands in what's going on with Iran. They got their hands in what's going on with my dog, Traore up in Burkina Faso. We got our hands in everything, minding everybody else's business. Why don't we mind American business and make America great again for real? I'm not saying that the Supreme Leader Ayatollah wasn't a fucking piece of shit. I'm not saying that. Yeah, they killed a lot of their own people in those protests. Sure, yes they did. But that's their country's problems. If we jumped in every country's problems and we don't even have our own backyard clean, how are we fixing anything? What we're doing is creating more problems for ourselves and more taxpayer dollars that American people are already stressed in, that they stressed out. Now with these wars and inflations that's going to keep going on, gas prices are going to be back high again. Cool. Ukraine goes to war with Russia and the gas price doubled, damn near tripled. What the hell are we doing? I want to talk more to y'all about that Iron Dome. Like I said, it costs $1 billion a night for them to keep that Iron Dome going. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to be able to analyze the trajectory and determine if the rocket poses a threat to civilian areas. And then it's supposed to intercept those missiles and knock them out of the sky. And like I said, it has a success rate of about 90%, or it had a success rate of 90%. It might be dropping now. Now, each battery, it costs roughly $100 million to produce for the interceptor missiles. But they are coming out with this thing called the Iron Beam. Now, the Iron Beam is a laser. It's a 100 kilowatt high energy laser defense system. It's not out yet, but it's supposed to intercept rockets, drones, and it just costs dollars per shot. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, I don't know if they need some shit like that, because if they get some shit like that, they might really be trying to utilize it and attack any country they want. And we got an impeccable system that don't cost us nothing, you know, because war costs money. War is a money thing. If you don't have no money, you can't go to war. You got to have your money right, like Pac said, and he got his money right. He was ready to go to war. You got to have your money right to go to war. Now, Iran says that we're not safe. They said they wanted the United States to know that their happy days are over. So what does that mean for us? Not only is our soldiers at risk of death and becoming expendable to, you know, to fight Israel wars, but we're becoming expendable here on American soil. We know that they can't get over there. They probably can't get none of their missiles over here, their hypersonic missiles. We got too much time to intercept them and shoot them down, right? But we all know how they play. Their terrorist attacks is what happens to us. But it makes me wonder, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but amidst all these things that are happening, that mass shooting that happened in Austin, Texas, right? And somehow this guy has the nerve to be wearing an Allah is God shirt or something like that. So now they're saying it's Muslim related, could be terroristic, and you know, in support of what's going on in Iran or something. We always trying to deviate, to take away from what's going on and try to, you know, make a reason for why we're doing what we're doing, and you know, have you focused on something else, you know, get you sidetracked from what's really going on, the real problem. Man, he's been the Supreme Leader Ayatollah since 1989, so 36 years he was in charge there. At one point, some American civilians were captured in Iran, and he was holding them hostage. And he said that he wanted to let all the black people go because they've already been through enough. On November 17th, amidst Iran's anti-imperialist revolution, Ayatollah Khomeini ordered the release and immediate deportation of women and black hostages held at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran to recognize racial oppression in the United States. He said that black people had already been oppressed so much in their country, he didn't want to oppress them anymore, and he let the black people go. So he has some sense. And it's crazy because as oppressed we are in America, nobody else recognizes that. Ain't no reparations, ain't nothing ever been handed out to us. It's either get it how you live, get it off the muscle, get it out the mud, get it out the dirt, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Even if you ain't got no boots on, find a boot. You know, you can't rob and steal for a boot because you're going to jail and prison. But, you know, if you can figure out how to get a boot on, you can get to work, right? If you can get to work, then you can maybe make some money and finally take care of your family. He understands how oppressed we were with slavery and everything else. But, you know, they try to make, you know, it's so many things. It's so many, and I'm not on anyone's side. I'm not on Israel's side. I'm not on Iran's side. I just want to say this. Iran ain't no bitch. They ain't no, I think the world thought Iran was going to lay down. Iran ain't laying down. And they got fucking allies. You know what I'm saying? They've been in bed with China and Russia. And it hasn't been confirmed. But what's being said is that Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, he said that if Iran needs his assistance, he's going to be there for him. If they need missiles, he got a missile that'll put Israel to bed in one shot. I'm like, oh. Now, I don't know if we're on the brink of World War III. I can't say that it's all going to happen that way. I don't know if this is the last days, Armageddon is here, and Jesus is coming back. I don't know. But it's just funny how all this ties around. You know, they want us to be, you know, as believers in God and Christ, they want us to be against the Muslims. But we can't be for the Jews neither, because the Jews don't believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And if we wrap everything around, you know, it's so funny, right? You know, I used to hate when when black Muslims would say, you know, how are you guys, well, that's the white man's religion and all that stuff. And you do some more diggings and get deeper in this, and you find out that first Christian church ever founded was founded in Ethiopia. But not only that, did you guys ever look into what the Muslim people did in their slave trade? The trans-Saharan slave trade? You know what they did to over, what was it? It was an astronomical amount. They used to castrate all the black men and turn them into servers. And when they would do that, it would take their manhood away pretty much, stop them from wanting to be warriors or wanting to fight back and revolt. They would cut all their dicks off. And I think 60-something% of all the men that were in the slave trades, they wouldn't survive, and they would pay triple for the women to make them concubines and all that. So, I mean, the slave trade that the Muslims did with the trans-Saharan slave trade was probably more brutal and lasted longer than the slave trade did in America that the Europeans did. They want you to hate the Europeans for giving you the Christian Bible that they remixed, but they don't want you to hate the Muslims for giving you they didn't give you a Quran. They treated you fucked up. If you were a black Muslim in Africa, then they gave you a pass. But if you were black, if you were an African in Africa and they put you in the slave trade and you believed in your own gods or your own religion or whatever, they did that to you. They castrated you, they killed you, they did everything that they could do. And it's crazy, man. Africa is the birthplace of civilization. It's where everyone learned their education. It's where all the great minerals and diamonds and cobalt and everything that you're looking for, exotic fish, animals, all that stuff originates, and Africa gets no love, and it's been robbed and taken advantage of forever. And they finally mad because Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, all these guys, they said enough. They killed Gaddafi because he wanted to unify Africa. What would happen if Africa was unified? Just like imagine, the United States is the only continent where you have multiple states and it's combined into one country. Imagine if every country in Africa became a state in Africa. Well, imagine if every country in Africa became a state, and imagine if the continent of Africa just became united as one place. How dangerous that could be for the rest of the world. Why is America so successful? You got 49 states on land plus Hawaii, which is an island. It's all underneath one government. Yeah, different states have their own like laws that they abide by, but you have federal law that goes for all of the land and federal taxes and everything, so that they can control what's going on this country and this pretty much North American continent, right? If you look at Europe, they're all different countries. They're not united. They might accept the euro, but they're not united. Asia, different countries. They're not united. There's no united front. America's so successful and so strong because the whole country is united, and they don't want you guys to be united like that. We got one language and we have pretty much one movement. Even though you have the West Coast, East Coast, South, or whatever, we still are underneath one umbrella. And I think that's what makes us so dangerous and why we're able to come together and become so successful as a country. You look at Central America, South America, all different countries divided with different problems, and they can't come together. If Africa could pull all its resources, create highways, create a trade system, take all its natural resources and sell it on their own for their own market prices and reap all the benefits and not be paying France or Spain or UK or Belgium, any country that had any dealings with them being forced to move their products through their systems, their banking and everything. If Africa could become 100% independent of any other country, with all the resources they have, they would probably take over. They would take over the world economically pretty quickly. So that's why they're always working so hard to keep Africa separated. Think about it, all these artifacts. I went to the Louvre. You had an African Egypt museum there, right? Exhibit there in the museum at the Louvre. And it's like all these things in here, and I guarantee the Louvre probably doesn't pay Africa anything, doesn't pay Egypt anything for that. What they call themselves doing is keeping these artifacts safe because they was out there tomb raiding. It's a crazy hypocrisy that's going on in the world, and it's been going on. No one speaks up and says or does anything about it. If you want to look at what was it, the Democratic Congo Free State or whatever, that King Leopold. You gotta look into King Leopold. He was a motherfucker. King Leopold II. He was from Belgium. He was a motherfucker. He went underneath Belgium's rule into Africa, and they fought. They stole the land, and they were mining and doing everything that they were doing. And he declared the Congolese land as the Democratic Republic of Free State, right? Something like that. And everyone, all the soldiers, he operated with autonomy there, and all the soldiers who were underneath him, they all had to pretty much, they had to show that they were working. If they shot any bullets, they had to come back with a chopped off foot, hand, something, or dead body, something showing that they're not wasting the military bullets on their own hunting and doing things out in Africa. They had to show that they were killing African people. I mean, what King Leopold did was so egregious in Africa. It's just amazing that people don't say anything and they just let it slide. They talk about Hitler and they talk about the Holocaust like that was the worst shit that ever happened in the world. It was horrible, but Leopold makes Hitler look like a child. You know, a couple million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. King Leopold killed like 20 million Africans. It's night and day, but no one talks bad about this guy. No one talks bad about the things that he did, and he ran rapid until finally some reporters from different countries, American and other people, went, and because they were hearing talks about what was going on in the Congo, and they went and they documented it, and finally Belgium called him out of there, and they released control back to Africa. But it's just crazy that they're able to do that. So, but everything's fast forward, man. When you look at the world, you look at what's going on right now, and all this war going on. You look at prophecy, you look at Bible, you look at Scripture. It makes you wonder to yourself: is Donald Trump the Antichrist? He claims to be a Christian man. He comes out with a Bible and everything. And that's what the Antichrist does. He claims to be the Messiah. And it's funny, you would hear all this talk about Obama like he was the worst guy in the world, you know, and he kept saying Obama's going to bomb Iran and all these things, man. And Netanyahu keeps talking about how Iran has all this nuclear power, but he won't even prove that he doesn't have nuclear power. Israel is operating above the United Nations laws and rules, you know, these world rules that everyone else has to submit to. They want Iran to submit to all this and all these other countries while they run rapid and just do what they want to do. It's amazing, man. And it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with this war. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm watching every day, man. You know, God bless the people in Israel. God bless the people in Iran. It's scary, you know. God bless what's going on here in America. It's like, where can you go? I've seen a little map and grid of the safest places in the world that you can go. I think Fiji was like the #1 safest places you can go. South Africa was on there. Places that's I guess a little bit more diplomatic and no one would try to attack. I think New Zealand was on there. It was several places in the world that you can pretty much go and run to that you'll be safe from you know, World War III if all this nuclear shit went off. So it's something to think about, man. Hopefully it doesn't get there. Hopefully everything can become de-escalated. But like I said, man, you know, Iran ain't no bitch. They not getting in bed with America. They know what happens when you get in bed with America. They're going to turn your back on you. You know, it's funny. We funded Iran back in like the 70s or something. And then we turn around and we want to be at war with them. We funded Iraq, I think, and we gave Iraq the weapons of mass destruction to use against Iran. We claimed that they still had weapons of mass destruction, and then we found none. But we gave it to them. Like, we trained these military groups, and then we turn around and go against these people that we train. We pretty much shit on a lot of our allies that have something that we want. We're only friends until we're not friends no more, you know? But like I said, Iran didn't come to fuck around. You know, if you don't think they came to fuck around, God damn it, I'm not. Don't. Listen, right now, they put in belt to ass. That's all I got to say. But it's your boy CP. I'm signing off. Y'all pay attention to what's going on. Free the people. Liberate the people. Lead them folks to do what they do. They done already shot down. They shot at the embassy, the American embassy in Qatar. They shot at the American embassies in like, or they shot the American embassy, I think, in Dubai. They shot and blew up one of the bases in Qatar. the military base that we have in Qatar, they didn't shot that. Iran also made missiles hit Saudi Arabia. Anything that's an ally of America, or they're letting America park their planes and do what they do, refill, and Iran is not fucking around. So I don't think it's a good war for America, just based off strategically where Iran is located and the entries and being up in the mountains. I mean, think about the war with Afghanistan. Motherfucking mountain goat herder motherfuckers with RPGs was shooting down our planes and keeping us at bay because they can hide in the fucking mountains. Unless we nuking some shit, we probably don't want to fuck around with those countries. But all we doing is wasting more American resources. I mean, I get it. America loves war and America does war, and they do it with the best of them. But these are wars that don't really have anything to do with us. And like I said, the puppet master Netanyahu, he's got their hands up the American ass, and he's forcing the puppet to do what they want to do left and right. And it sounds like it's all behind a lot of this Epstein shit too, and exposure. And I don't know, man. It's a lot of conspiracy theories. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but Epstein was definitely a Jew, and a lot of these top major CEOs of these companies have been Jewish, and they're in those documents too as well. It's a crazy world we're living in. But CP signing off. I'm about to let y'all do what y'all do. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Fuck Netanyahu. Fuck King Leopold. Fuck them all. Fuck Hamas. And fuck them that's against Gaza and the good people that's out there being killed and murdered over nothing. You know what I'm saying? Israel, hopefully y'all find a heart.
Fall off, but I can't. I be laughing all the way to the bank.